Hello everyone, I am TJB Chris, and this is my Tandy 2500 SX25, originally with hard drive, as you can see here by the nameplate. I've had this machine in the collection for quite a few months, but it actually hasn't been featured on the channel before. It has, however, been prominently featured on my Twitter feed. Doing a whole bunch of different things. As seen here is a game night system. Look at that. We've got Jazz Jackrabbit, Wolf 3D, Zargon Pinball, Prince of Persia, Duke Nukem, blah blah blah. It also has been seen running alternative operating systems such as Microware OS 9 for x86, also known as OS 9000, and even most recently as my own personal dot matrix print shop running what other than the print shop. So tonight I'm going to go into this machine. I'm going to talk a little bit about the modifications I've made. We're going to take a look inside. The basic specs on this, without getting too book reporty, it originally came with 2 megs of RAM. It has an 80386 SX25 processor, specifically the AM386 SX25. Originally came with 2 megs of RAM, as I mentioned, but now has 16 in it. That's how I got it. When I got it, that CD-ROM drive wasn't there. The drive in the other bay was not there, and there were no expansion cards. I only got the system unit. The keyboard and the monitor are from my 1000 RLX. So in addition to the upgrades you can see, I've got a CF card acting as the hard drive, and that is in a 3D printed bracket I made. I got myself a 3D printer, yay! And I've been using it so far to modify other people's design. This bracket, in fact, was a modified design from something I found on Thingiverse, but it didn't fit the StarTech CF to IDE card that I had, so I made some crude modifications, and it actually fits and works, and I'm pretty happy about that. I also have just a stock IDE CD-ROM drive in there, and there's some other bits that we'll get into. This machine has 256K of video RAM, the standard amount, runs a Western Digital WD09COO. I'll have to get that. I'll put it up on the screen. It's got a Western Digital chipset, and it is different from its very close cousin, the 2500 RSX, because that machine has an Asumos AVGA2 chipset in it. So this machine isn't quite the 2500 RSX, even though it came out at the same time. It also doesn't have a physical volume control. It has a software one, which you can set the keys for in BIOS to do volume control without having to go into the BIOS to do it. So with that in mind, I also have one other upgrade that we're going to do tonight, and that's kind of why we're taking it apart tonight. We are, assuming I didn't get re-etched parts from China, we're going to upgrade the video memory. Yay! So that's going to be fun. We're going to upgrade it to 512K so I can use the 640 by 480 by 256 color mode. So let's get right into getting this machine apart. I'll show you the other upgrades that are in it, and we'll get the video RAM upgraded. Static shot. Sorry about that. We'll move, pan, and zoom as needed for each portion of this. Let's get the keyboard out of here. Apparently the system unit setting on it. So this comes apart just like all these other, what Tandy calls low-profile machines. 2 screws in the side. I'll try and stay out of frame as much as possible. Cover slides off, underlying metal shield you'll see. So let's remove the screws. Now usually I scrabble this or I time-lapse it, but I figured tonight we'll just kind of go through it, right? So maybe I'll speed up the individual acts of doing stuff, but for the most part I'm just going to take this apart right on camera here. Alright, let's reveal the goods. Hey look, metal. So as usual, I just dropped the shell. There we go. Alright, here's our bay. The original 2500, the 2500 XL, 286, actually had a key lock in this. Okay, here's a look inside the machine. I'm going to just unplug the power here. Flip this up, and then I'm actually going to re-plug the power back in, and that's so I can ground myself as we go. Okay, and we can do some testing if we need. Okay, let's take a look. And actually, for those of you curious, I made mention of the 2500 RSX. That motherboard is quite a bit smaller than this one, as you can clearly see if you've seen that motherboard before. Maybe I can find a shot of that motherboard to get up. But the 2500 RSX motherboard really just kind of runs right along here in this whole half. It's just a much smaller area, and the ports are angled differently. Some differences in that machine also. This machine has 4 SIM slots here. I don't know if you can see them, my fingers. You can. The RSX has 2. Like I said, the video chip is different. This is a Western Digital chip. This is WD90C00, so I got my 0 and my 9 transposed. And the video RAM upgrade is right over here. We've got these ZIP chips, and the 2500 RSX has DIPs, which are over in this area. I should also note these machines both use the Headland Technology HT18 AT on a chip. That's this guy right here for most of the supporting AT functionality. And of course, there's a 386SX processor on here. Here's my coprocessor socket. There's my AMD AM386SX ROM BIOS, and all the good stuff. Got a nice thin coin cell battery. Thank you, Tandy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This machine came out in 1992 and ran alongside the 1000 RSX in the 1993 catalog, which would have come out in the fall of '92. And that machine actually is closer to the 2500 RSX than this. There's some differences in headphone jacks and things like that between the two, but the RSX 2500 and 1000 machines are very close. Anyway, you didn't come here to hear about those machines, you came here about this machine. What else is in here? Well, we have a Creative Vibra 16 PMP Sound Blaster card, and I use the utilities to configure that. I don't love this card, but whatever, it's here. It's what I could get for cheap for now. And underneath here is 3Com Etherlink 3 that I'm not going to bother taking out. But it does have a option ROM in it, the XTE IDE Universal BIOS, so that I can support the CF cards that you saw sticking out of the front. So that's pretty much a quick overview of the machine. I don't know how much you care about it, but hey, you got it. So let's take a look at that memory upgrade, shall we? All right, let me ground myself out before I go touching things. And we'll see what we have in here. Can I even get this open? There we go. Say they don't want me in here, do they? Okay, so let's take a look at one of these. So I bought 4 of these. I really only need 2. So this is the video RAM that this takes, allegedly. It takes MT4C1664Z-10. And these are ZIP form factor chips, and there's 2 slots. So there's 512K of total RAM. Once I put these in, there's 256, so this is 128K each. And on this chip, there should be a dot, notch, or other indicator to indicate pin 1. Yep, there's a dot. I don't think you're going to be able to see it on the camera. Nope, you're not. It's not going to focus. There's a dot right there, and there's actually a notch cut into the corner of the chip here. And on the board, it should also indicate where pin 1 is, and I will look that up and show you. And what we'll do is insert these. So let's look at the sockets together and find pin 1, shall we? And here we are at the ZIP sockets, and we can see right here on the board is the number 1. That is pin 1, so that's where we'll put the dot/notch on the ZIP chips, and then we'll go from there. This here is the LED. Got that moved out of the way. You'll notice, speaking of the LED, that on this machine the LED blinks on hard drive activity, which I don't know that I love. My 4825SX doesn't do that, and I'm pretty sure the 2500 RSX does not do that, but this one and some of the other 2500s do. Anyway, let's get these chips in, and then with the machine apart, I'm probably going to try and power it up and see if the HW Info utility at least sees 512K of video RAM. That way, if it doesn't work, I can put the stupid chip out, take the stupid chip out, and put the other chip back in. All right, we are ready to go here. I'm going to go for the back slot first. I'm going to ground myself, and we're just going to try and line this up. You got to get all these pins lined up. I have to be real careful not to bend any of them. I think I got that. I don't see any pins hanging over the edge. Okay, let's grab another one. I bought from one of those suppliers online that I don't quite trust, but ships directly here apparently. But the issue here was, this one's pins look a little bent, so I'm going to grab another one. Somebody on one of the forums actually mentioned to this particular supplier and said that they had luck getting these exact chips from them and having them not be fake. So these are even more bent. Jeez. Try this one. Sorry, I'm off camera here. You're watching this. All right, here comes chip number 2. Try to Ooh, I think I got it. All right, let's power this up and see if HWinfo works. So this monitor, the power switch doesn't actually work, so I just have it hardwired to bypass it for now. So we plug the monitor in to turn it on. So someday I'll find the switch and replace it. But until then, on goes the monitor, on goes the computer. Keyboard is up on the Apple II monitor, for those wondering. We're just gonna... Okay, well I have a video display. We're halfway there, right? I guess if I really borked it or shorted the pins, it probably wouldn't start up at all. We'll just let the initial memory count go, and then if it passes the first pass, I'll just run it. Okay, fine. I apologize if the screen's a little flickery. I tried to trim it out as much as I could with manual mode on the camera, but... Oh, F5, 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 thank you. Alright, this is the HWinfo utility. We'll just wait for it to read data. And actually, if this works, maybe we'll just install the Windows video driver. Yeah, it is a little flickery, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to deal. Hey, consider this. The audio is more regular, right? So you can't have everything. Alright, let's go to video info. Western Digital sees there is video. Calls it a Paradise. I guess this chipset number goes by the name Paradise, which I knew. Hey, 512K. Alright. Sweet. It was 256 before. So I didn't botch the pins. And it at least works enough that the computer sees it. Okay. Let's try then rebooting so I get my full config back. And once we do that, I will go into Windows Setup and we'll see if we can set the 256 color video display, and then we'll install the driver because I want the Western Digital driver for this machine. And then we'll set the display up with a 256 color bitmap of some sort. See, Vibra, I don't love this card. It actually works okay, but Epic Pinball crashes when it boots or when it starts, and everything else seems to work fine for it. But if I can find a real Sound Blaster 16 for not eBay bend over pricing, maybe I will. All right, let's go to Windows, Setup. Okay, and I've already, I think, put, okay, I don't want that. There we are. Okay, you want me to do this guy here. I think this is my one. I preloaded the driver. Yep, that's the driver. Okay. To keep your currently compiled driver, press enter. Because I figured this way you wouldn't have to watch me copy it from a floppy disk. Okay. Do we get... Obviously, the splash will show. Will we get anything other than the RLE logo? Come on, Schwartz. Ooh, we have an hourglass. All right, you're not going to get the sound because the speakers are off, I think. Okay. We're just going to have to navigate this with the keyboard, folks. What are you doing there, Windows? Okay. Oops. Main, control panel, desktop. All right, wallpaper. F. That's what I want, except I hit F1 by accident. Okay, 256 color.bitmap. Hey, that's the 256 color wallpaper. Look at that, it looks right. Minimize Program Manager. And that's what that should look like. So we actually have, see if I can zoom in without it going completely nuts. Yeah, so, I mean, I could be worse, but hey, I don't have any weird foul-ups on the display. It seems to be working. And I have 256 color bitmap. Great. All right, let's get this back together and let's play with some 256 color software, shall we? All right, we're up and we should have full configuration now. Let's actually hop into Windows, and first we're going to run the program that I've already installed and technically works in 16 colors, but admittedly it looks like ass if you run it. And you're going to say to yourself, why are you running this program on here? It's so slow, it barely meets the requirements. Come on, sound. There's my sound. I don't know if you heard that. Anyway, why are you running this program if it barely meets the requirements? And the answer is, back in the day, I had a machine, I had a 2500 RSX, about as fast as this, and the minimum requirements always said, you know, you can run this program or that program. And yeah, it technically runs, and this is what you had to make do with. So you get to watch me make do with the first program, which is Microsoft Encarta 95. Despite the 95 in the title, it does not require Microsoft Windows 95. In fact, it predates it. So now we'll see what it looks like in 256 color glory. I don't know if you can see it, but the power light flashes here with the drive accesses. It's taken some getting used to. I'm not used to that on these machines, but apparently that was a thing for a while. This was my life, looking stuff up. It was better than nothing. We had a Multimedia 2500 RSX growing up, so that was pretty cool. I wonder if I cheaped out on the disk and didn't put all the helper files on there. Ah, screen looks nice. Nice 256 color rendered thing here. Let's go. Let's enter.
Let there be justice for all. Let there be peace for all.
Like I said, it technically runs, but this is what, imagine it, kids, this is what a lot of our lives were like. It technically runs, but it runs kind of slow. Like, even the worst iPad still runs the software without dogging along, but this was the reality of the day. Now that picture of that DuPont mansion looks nice. Let's look for JFK. They're gonna have his speech on here. You guys make me search by the whole name? Nope, that is not what I wanted. All right, K-E-N-N-E-T-Y. There we are, John Fitzgerald. I'm just picking stuff because I'm hoping there's going to be speeches, and this seems to be one of those things where they're going to have dropped some stuff in here. I'm letting this go real time because this is what my life was like. Oh, here we go. Now this looks like a video, but it's not. This is just going to be audio. Hopefully my lapel mic will get it.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
All right, whether you got that or not, I don't know, but it tells you all about him. See, before Wikipedia, but after books, we were lucky enough to have ours on CD-ROMs. Imagine that. Okay, so that's Encarta, and it actually had some other cool stuff, and you could browse by category, and they had social science and all sorts of cool stuff. Actually, I think there was arts as well, art and literature, architecture. Let's see if there's any good pictures in architecture here. Just going for the A's, you know, Aardvark, Acropolis. It is functional, it just isn't the fastest. Oh, I gotta close the little pinpointer here. Go away. And there we are, there's the Acropolis. What if I zoom on that? Thinking about it. Really thinking about it. Some kind of loading. Oh, there we go. Actually, that's a pretty nice picture. 640 by 480 and 256 colors. The Acropolis even has a mouse pointer. See? Look at that. All right, let's do our other one here. I'm going to close Encarta if I can get there. I actually have the Groliers, I don't know how you say it, Encyclopedia, which I do want to install. That'll be run better than Encarta. It's actually a couple of years older. But let's try another disk. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to run the setup program on this. You get to watch me install it. I don't know that this machine meets the minimum requirements. All right, fine. We'll browse it. Maybe it just hadn't read the disk yet. Oh, because it's just wine. Okay, let's go. So this is the Microsoft Wine. What the hell is this? Wine Guide. This is the Microsoft Wine Guide. I didn't know Microsoft was into the wine connoisseur business. There's my program group created. Or my program items. Goes in the same Microsoft Multimedia program group. I don't know that this machine meets the system requirements for it. I know it requires 256 colors. Okay, well, it seems to be working. As an enjoyer of the wine myself, we might have to make a video just on this. Let's go wine tasting with Oz. This is wine expert Oz Clark. And let's just pick a wine. Actually, this part's actually moving pretty good. I think this has some faux full motion video in it, but not really. Let's see. We have California Cabernet. Come on, I'm from America. I want American Cabernet. All right, let's see how he looks. Turn this up. Oh, it's got a profiler display. Again, kids, welcome to life in the 1990s. This is when I was walking uphill to school both ways, 10 feet of snow, barefoot. I killed a bear once with a loose leaf notebook. Here we go.
This one's a Cabernet Sauvignon from the Napa Valley in California. Cabernet Sauvignon is the great of Bordeaux.
It's a little behind.
But California nowadays makes many of the finest Cabernet Sauvignons in the world. California in general is a warm climate. So what we're looking for here is a wine with a deep color, with a big structure, and with intense fruit flavors. Let's see whether we get it. Well, certainly that's a lovely deep color. It's quite mature. The wine is 6 years old, and it's really holding its color well.
Now the motion actually isn't too bad. It was a little behind, but I wonder if the display profiling, say two words at the same time, caused that. Let's try this.
And it certainly has developed a beautiful bouquet. The first thing that comes out of the glass is mint. Now, mint's quite rare in Cabernet Sauvignon, but it's absolutely delicious when you get it. And right behind the mint, I get black cherry, nice, sweet, juicy black cherries, and black currants as well.
Okay, so the motion's okay, but by the time the motion starts, the audio's already started, which, I mean, for a multimedia, this was like the bottom end of multimedia, so the MPC standard was right around this, but it was the bottom end. So it works. I'm actually surprised that it works as well as it does. It works better than I thought. Let's see if there's anything else fun on here. We have All About Wine, which again, big fan. Whiskey, wine, you know. Let's go here. And here we go. Oh, interesting. They talk all about degree days. This is the last one of these we're moving on. Oh, nice picture of a vineyard. The system of degree days was developed, so this is kind of like the encyclopedia, but just for wine. So this is like Encarta for wine. I like it. And that is the Microsoft Wine Guide, which honestly, I didn't know that was a thing, but I think is really hilarious. And maybe sometime I'll actually have to just roll through this on the channel. In fact, if you've been watching and you're still with me at this point, because there's only like 5 of you left, and you want to see that, I'll run this on my 4825SX so that it runs a little better and we can walk through some of the various bits of it. Maybe I'll find myself some wine and drink along with it. All right, and that's going to do it for this video. We've taken the 2500SX25, introed it on the channel. Yay, nice, beautiful. Without the shopping channel value, but this one probably won't see shopping channel treatment. We've taken this thing from 256K of video RAM up to 512, so we can bask in the glow of the beautiful 256 color 640 by 480 display. I also have the 800 by 600 and 1024 by 768 modes available to me. So that was a worth it upgrade and really brings this thing up into about the best it can be for what it is. And that's going to do it. So join me next time. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be doing next, but we'll be doing something fun. And if you'd like to see more of the software on these things or anything like that, or if you'd like to see more of the wine guide specifically, let me know in the comments what works, what doesn't, and I'll take it into consideration for future videos. So until next time, stay classy, and thank you for watching.